Hello everyone, let's continue learning chess. This time we're going to talk about the chess pieces. We already finished working with the chessboard. I hope that exercise, all that practice went all well. Now we're going to learn about the chess pieces, which are the ones that we use to play the chess game. So let's go with that. First of all, I will start with the name of the pieces. Okay, so we have pieces and each one of the pieces have a value. Okay, so let's start over here. We have the pawn. Okay, so on a chessboard we have pawns. Okay, so I'll mark it here, the pawn. So we also have rook. So we have pawn, rook, we have bishop, we have knight, we have queen, we have a king. Okay, so notice, let's go through the name of the pieces: pawn, rook, bishop, queen, knight, and king. Okay, those are the chess pieces. Now, each one of the pieces have a value, and the value of the piece will go according to the strength and importance of that piece on the chessboard. Okay, so now the value of the pieces are the following. The pawn is worth 1 point. Okay, the pawn is worth 1 point. In this part, we are also going to talk a little bit about notation, what letter represents each one of our pieces. Okay, so let's go with the value first. So the pawn is worth 1 point, the knight is worth 3 points, the bishop is worth 3 points, the rook is worth 5 points, the queen is worth 9 points, and the king, which is the most important piece on the board, is worth the whole game. Okay, the pieces are represented as the following. For example, the knight is represented by the letter N. To represent pieces, we write capital letters. So the knight will be represented by the capital letter N. Notice we're not going to use the letter K for the knight, because the K is going to be given to the king, which is the most important piece on the chessboard. So the knight we represented with the letter N. The bishop is represented with the letter B, capital B. The rook is represented with the letter R, capital R. The queen is represented with the letter Q, capital Q. The king is represented with the letter K, capital K. Okay, now the pawns, okay, on the chessboard, each one of the pawn will be represented by the letter of the file where the pawn is. For example, if the pawn is on the A file, will be represented by the common letter A. If the pawn is on the B file, will be represented by the common letter B. If the pawn is on the C file, it will be represented by the common letter C. The name of the pawn will just be that letter. We are never going to say pawn, we're just going to say C. That will be the name of the pawn. A, B, C, in common letters. Okay, so those are the pieces. These are the name of the pieces, value of the pieces, and the letters that represent each one of those pieces. Let's go to the next one. Now here we have a chessboard, and before we start playing a chess game, we have to set up the board, put all the pieces on the board, and get ready to start the game. So the first thing that we have to notice when we're going to play a chess game is that by our right side, we should have a white square. So when you set up the board, you put the mat or the wooden set that you have, when you put it on the table, you have to make sure that there is a white square by your right hand. Right here should be a white square. If it is a black square there, then you may want to turn your board around until you get a white square right there. Okay, now then after you do that, we start putting up the pieces. First, we have to remember the white pieces, we are going to put them by number 1, and the black pieces by number 8. Okay, now we're going to start like to place the rooks in the corner. So we put one rook in one corner, the other rook in the other corner. Then we put the knights right next to the rook. Then we put the bishops right next to the knight, okay? And then we were going to have 2 squares remaining in the middle. Now, the queen always goes on her color. For example, if we have a white queen, we put it on the white square. Or if we have a light color queen, then the queen will go on the light square. and the king goes right next to the king. Notice what happened here with the black pieces. Same thing, rooks first, then the knights, then the bishops, okay? And then in the middle squares, the queen is black, so the queen goes on the black square. And then we put the king next to the queen. The pawns, the white pawns will go on the second rank, and the black pawns will go on the 7th rank, okay? So that is for you to remember. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, so in this one, we are literally, this is one of the first exercises that you have to do. And in this exercise, what you have to do, you have to represent where the pieces are. Now, this one will be done with you with Maria Eglis. Maria Eglis will be working on this practice with you. And let's see how you do in that one.
Hello, I am Maria Eglis, and we are going to do practice number 4. For this one, you have to set up the board using the letters that represent the chess pieces, and you already have 7 of them, don't you? Remember that the letter R represents the rook, N is the knight, B is the bishop, and Q is the queen. And these are supposed to be capital letters. Then for the pawns, you use the name of the square that not the name, the letter that is of the square that the pawn is on, okay? You already have 3 of them here. So let's finish with the pieces first. For us to do it easier, you're supposed to start by the corners, okay? So you already have one R here, which is the rook. Let's put the other R on the other side. And then the N, which is for the knight, and the B for the bishop. And who is missing? The king, who is the letter K. That's the most important piece, okay? So you cannot leave it out because it's the most important one, okay? Now, for the pawns, you have to write just the letter of the square. So this is A, B, C, D, and E. Now, I will recommend for you to pause the video now and try to do the other side by yourself. And then when you finish, you unpause the video to check if you did it right. Ready? Okay. Now, on the other side, we're going to do the pieces. And we start by the corners with the rooks. And then the knights. Then the bishops. And then you have the queen and king. Remember that the queen is supposed to go on its color, and on this side, we setting up the white pieces. So it should be here because it's a white queen, and the king next to it. Now on the front, you have all the pawns, and for them, you write the letters of the squares. Now remember that the letters of the square, you're supposed to write them with common letters, okay? So we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H, okay? So that will be it for practice number 4. Let's go to practice number 5 now, okay? Practice number 5 is about the squares. So you have to write the name of the squares where the pieces are. Let's start with this one here, which is the pawn. And we're going to look for it. Look at here. So it is on F4. You're going to write the name of the square right here next to the piece. Then we're going to look for the black pawn, which is on E6. E6. Okay. From here, you could pause the video for a while you do it by yourself. And then when you finish, you unpause the video for you to check your answers, okay? Did it? Okay, let me see. Let's look for F for the bishop, okay? Let's look for the bishop, which is on D3. Okay, so that is practice number 5. Okay, practice number 5. Let's do the last one, which is practice number 6. Well, the last one for this video. Now, white pawn first on G2 and black pawn on G6. Pause the video now, please, and try to do it by yourself. When you finish, you will unpause it and check to see if your answers are right. Finish? Okay. Now let's see. The white bishop is on C2. No, the last ones are the kings. We have the white king on G1 and the black king on G8. Okay, so that will be it for today's video. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye. Thank you for watching.